I thought I would just do a quick review on some eyeshadows that I've been using recently. I'm looking in the mirror and looking at this real quick, and it looks like I've got something growing out of the top of my head. Actually, not so much. There. I have some of those little sticks in the corner in a vase. But it does sort of make me look kind of bizarre. Anyway, I thought that I would just quickly talk about a few eyeshadows that I've been using. I think you don't have to, look very hard to realize that I am not a person that uses multiple layers of all sorts of eyeshadows at a time, particularly in the summer. It is just entirely too warm for that. And my personal feeling is, and I don't think this applies to all women of a certain age, but certainly in my situation, the heavier I wear eye makeup, I think the more noticeable it is that, I have a certain amount of bagginess and sagginess about the my eyelids, and I think it just draws attention in an unattractive way if I wear too much eyeshadow and too much eye makeup. I probably could learn to do it a little better, and I hope to learn to do it a little better in a way that makes my eyes look nicer rather than some horror chamber. But for now, what I find is I do much better if I just put a little, for example, Painterly paint pot. I use some paint pot, most often Painterly, sometimes ochre. I have used Woodwink, but I find myself most often just applying Painterly on my lids, and then a slight dusting of powder, and then I just apply a little bit of darker color in my crease, and that's it. That and mascara. And that really, as I said, the summertime is more than enough. Sometimes when the fall and winter, I like the look of a little liner on my upper lid. I tend not to do much. I used to wear lots of liner on my lower lid, and also a lot of mascara. But again, I think that just kind of draws things downward. So my tendency now is I just put mascara on. In the summer, I don't wear liner. In the winter, I sometimes do, but not daily. I only have so much time to spend getting ready in the morning, and that just takes up a little more time than I'm willing to spend on most mornings. Regardless, I have tended to be sort of a MAC eyeshadow fan. I mean, obviously there's all sorts of great reviews about MAC products on YouTube, and I do find them to be great. I mean, they go on easily, they seem to blend very smoothly, they're highly pigmented, they're just, relatively easy to work with, and I like them a lot. But I can't say that, my life ends with the idea of using MAC eyeshadows. And I happened to be in the drugstore over the summer, and I picked up a few Maybelline shadows, and quite frankly, I like them. They don't have quite as much payoff for color, but I don't find that a big problem in the summertime. I'm not looking for, lots and lots of color in the summer. I'm just looking for a little, just very little definition about the crease, and that's all I want. So for my purposes, they do a really good job. So what I have picked up over the course of the summer are mostly neutral colors, because that's my comfort zone. And I just thought I'd show you a few of them. Excuse me if I'm sniffing, allergies are just horrible right now. One of the quads, because they come in quads, that I've been using recently is called Mocha Motion. And let me get the little foam applicators out of here for you. And hopefully you can see this. I think there's some, really nice colors. And one of the things that these Maybelline quads have done is they've got one color marked as for your brow bone, one for your lid, one for your crease, and one for your corner. I can't get used to this camera. One for your corner. And depending on what sort of look you want, I mean, I think any of the darker colors really can work for your crease. And I don't tend to, in the summer, use a lid color and a crease color and a corner color. I don't do all that. So, I think you have a lot of opportunity to use these however makes you happy. And so these are some nice colors, and they do coordinate if you decide that you want to use them. And they do kind of a neat little thing on the back. They kind of have an eye drawn, and they show you where you can place the colors. So, that's kind of handy and nice. These are pretty matte. There's not a lot of glimmer in these. The next two have a little bit more shimmer to them, but I wouldn't call them glimmer really. And this one is called Velvet Crush, and the colors in it are a little bit more shimmer, and I think this is looking a lot, I don't know, maybe blue, or maybe if I turn it this way you can see it a little better. It's really kind of taupey. This is more of a taupey brown sort of color. A taupey brown sort of color. This is a deeper gray there. I think at this angle you get a little truer vision of what the colors look like. And then again a light taupey color, and the brow color here is a very soft light beige. And this makes a nice look as well. And again, I think you can use either of the darker colors for your crease if you don't want to do multiple colors on your lid at one time. This one does have a little more shimmer to it than the first one that I showed you, which is much more matte in its tones. And then the last one that I tried that I really like, particularly because I tend to wear lots of blacks and grays, and I'm probably going to like this more in the fall. But this one is called Charcoal Smokes, and it is got a little shimmer to it, again not glittery, and I think when I'm holding it at an angle here you really can get a better view of what the actual colors look like. But as you can see, the color that they're talking about for your corner is a very deep kind of black color, and then a lighter crease color that's again sort of a taupey but a little bit more to the gray tone than the last one I showed you. And also with the brow bone, that's a grayer tone. It's still light, but it's a grayer shade. And I don't know if you really, are that interested in the colors. But for example, that's the outer corner. This is the crease color, this finger. This is the lid color. Okay. I can't get used to this. Sorry. And then this light color is the brow color. So as you can see, those are pretty nice, and they do have just a little bit of shimmer to them, but they're certainly not, super sparkly and super glimmery. So I think they work really well on a more mature eye, which I think, looks better when you avoid too much sparkle. I think even when we have a little crepiness in our eyes, we can get away with a tiny bit of shimmer. But I think, as your eyes are aging and you have a little looser skin, you have to be a little cautious of how much shine you apply there. It's easy for that to kind of get away from you and sink into those little creases and make what you're trying to enhance look turn into maybe like not one of your best features, but one of your worst features. So I hope that's a little bit helpful and gives you a little, if you have not tried these, I think they last pretty well. I think they go on easy because you don't get too much color payoff. They're a little more forgiving. They're a little less, they require a lot less blending because the color is added by adding more layers, by applying more, rather than dipping into your shadow and then putting it on your eye and realizing that you have much more than you intended, and now you're trying to figure out how to, blend that away. So for everyday use, I think these are really pretty nice shadows. They're drugstore pricing, but I think they're nice quality. And so, you know, as much as I love high-end cosmetics and all that sort of stuff, I also love when you get reasonable value, and I think you get that here.